You're listening to the Bring the Thunder podcast, a podcast by fans for fans.
Yes, indeed you are, and welcome back to the Bring the Thunder podcast. It's me, Joe, and Satbeer tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, first off, welcome to the show. Thanks for tuning in. Well, let's start off with a final score and box score. Minnesota 112, OKC 107. Brutal game tonight. SGA goes for 35, 5, and 7. Didn't shoot well, even though he finished just under 50. Didn't shoot it well. Jade up 17, 7, and 2. Didn't shoot it well after the first quarter. Wasn't really effective after the first quarter. Dort 11, 3 of 10 from deep. Chet Holmgren 14, 4 of 9. Not a lot of offense from him tonight. AJ Mitchell played very good, 14 off the bench, 50%. Caruso gets 7 points and snags 12 rebounds. On the Minnesota side, 26 and 12 for Ant Edwards. Julius Randle played well, 19, 8, and 5. Naz Reid 15. Bones Highland, the OKC killer, with 13 off the bench tonight. Satbeer, I sense trouble in paradise. And I don't want to be the guy to say it, but I'm going to. This is now a second loss against a playoff team that OKC didn't shoot well, didn't play clean. They looked sloppy, and they weren't coached well either tonight. And in both those losses, that was the case. I sense a bumpy road ahead, Satbeer, against good teams.
Man, you're falling into the narrative. I feel like that the fans are trying to create with this team when we've only really lost 2 or 3 games. And I mean, it's nice to say it after only 2 losses, but I think I mentioned this before. We're going to have losses here and there. And this was one of those games similar to the Spurs game. Like, the losses that we have, Joe, are off of our own mistakes or the other team hitting a lot of shots. And the game against the Spurs, Wemby hit a lot of shots. And in this case, we just didn't take our opportunities near the end of the game. And that's going to happen from time to time. I just don't think, obviously, from a playoff perspective, I'm concerned. From a, getting to that point and winning games against important playoff teams. Yes, it's important. I think I haven't mentioned this enough, but we've had a pretty easy schedule up until this point. We are moving towards playing a lot more consecutive games against more playoff-ready teams. And so we will see more losses on the schedule, but I don't think it's something I'm still concerned about, even if we aren't, breaking the record or whatever else. I honestly don't think I'm concerned with the team. As far as how tonight went, I mean, we go as SGA goes. I just feel like, I don't know. I feel like he left a little off the table at the end.
Absolutely.
And that's what really turns wins or losses, and that's how we lost against the Spurs. He could have made a couple extra shots that were in clutch moments, and tonight was the same thing. You miss a couple of those when your best player doesn't hit them. You usually will lose the game, especially when the others also, they're not hitting their shots, right? And we've seen that all season. It's definitely not something reliable for him, and I think that's going to be the game plan for really good teams is load up on SGA, make him uncomfortable on his spots, and then see if the others can, beat them. And clearly tonight that wasn't the case. And I mean, he can only do so much. And so it is what it is.
I mean, let's get into it a little bit. First quarter started amazing. Jalen Williams looked like the Jalen Williams we saw in the playoffs, especially in the finals, but especially in that Minnesota series as well. He was a killer in that Minnesota series. Then all of a sudden, he just goes to being some nonsense, turning the ball over, dribbling the ball too much, shooting tough shots, not effective at all. I was going crazy in the beginning for Jalen Williams. I thought, oh, he's finally back. No, he kind of tricked me tonight. I mean, I wasn't happy with his performance at all. They didn't get the ball to Chet. Like, they didn't draw anything up for him much at all. So that's on the coaching there. SGA is going to have off nights. That's fine. But, I mean, shot 28% from three again. That's a reoccurring theme. And I know everyone's going to say, bro, we're 25-3. Relax. We've had 2 poor shooting nights against good teams. We had poor shooting nights last year, and we lost those games. Mind you, I'd like to remind everybody, we beat Denver in a 7-game series. It took us to 7. We were down 2-1. We were down 2-1. We were almost down 3-1. We just clutched it out at the end. Indiana took us to 7 because we had terrible shooting nights. We got 30 balled by Indiana in Indiana in a game 6. I mean, yeah, Mark, I agree. They're going to have plenty of opportunities. But are they going to capitalize on them? And when, with the way they're shooting, I don't think they are, unless SGA saves them. So, with that being said, I'm starting to get a little ticked off here because the way they're losing is pissing me off. It's not that they're losing games. They should have won this fucking game. They'll let Anthony Edwards take over just like they did in the regular season last year. Blocks SGA, and then we have a timeout. We don't call it. SGA is getting hounded by Ant Edwards. He ends up stealing the ball. How do you not call a timeout there? Like, I know you got faith in your players, but you see him trapped. Just call a timeout. You still got 5 seconds to draw something up. It's the stupid mistakes that they made last year that they shouldn't be making anymore. That's really bothering me. It's the same exact mistakes. When they lost last year, it's the same thing that's happening this year in the 3 losses so far. And I saw a comment up there before. I don't know what happened to Isaiah Joe. I didn't see an injury. I haven't heard anything of an injury. He was playing outstanding. In 13 minutes, he had 6 points. He had 2 big threes in the first half. When Mark said there was lineup changes that could be made, I hope he wasn't bluffing at this point. I love Lou Dort. I backed him for so long. 3 of 10 every night it's not gonna cut it. He actually scored 11 points tonight. Shout out to me. He's over 6.5 in the pregame lock of the night. But I don't give a fuck. And excuse my French, but he's wide open on every single shot. And last year they won a championship because Lou Dort was a 40% 3-point shooter. And this year he can't hit water if he fell out the boat. So, yeah, there's going to be times where I prefer A.J. Mitchell, and he was having a fantastic game, and he should have been in there at the end. Lou Dort was guarding Julius Randle. Anyone could guard Julius Randle. Oh, man. Isaiah Hartenstein was nowhere to be found tonight. I know he's coming off the injury still, but 1 point. 1 point. He only shot the ball twice. What are we doing? Disgusting performance. I know they're better than this, and I'm overreacting a little bit here, but championship teams... Yeah, Unc, you're right. But championship teams do not make these dumb-ass mistakes. And they made them all last year throughout the playoffs, and they won the chip. But you can't repeat that and get away with it twice, I guarantee you. Not the way with that Denver's playing. Denver's locked in. They have the best offense in the league right now. Satbeer, help me out here because
I got you. Let me help you out and ease your mind here, man. I think the guys in the comment section are absolutely cooking. We have some of the best premium members and just fans in general. They understand the game. And let's just ease up here, Joe, on the team, right? Like, this is our 3rd loss. For a more positive note, most of this game we were up. We had a pretty big lead in this game. We had a lead in the Spurs game. We had a huge lead against the Portland team as well when we lost. All 3 losses. We had 16 plus or 15 plus leads that we did blow, but we had leads in those. And the only reason those teams really beat us was down the stretch. Down the stretch tonight, guess how many points they scored in a row in 53 seconds? 8. All by Anthony Edwards. And I said this, like, that's what it really takes to beat us. It takes Wembanyama turning into Wilt Chamberlain for 1 minute stretch. It takes Anthony Edwards turning the clock and looking like Michael Jordan.
Well, yeah, but that's a good point. But here's my problem.
That's what it takes.
I think but it shouldn't even have been there. We shot 28 from 3. They only shot 35. They shot 70% from the free throw line. Yes, they shot 47, but they missed 14. You shouldn't even have been in that situation. And we shot 30 free throws, made 28. You should not be in that situation. And if they had any type of shooting, like Isaiah Joe, and somebody's got to clear that up for me because I don't know why he wasn't in the game tonight, it should have been a blowout. the way that
Joe,
Minnesota played.
I completely agree. It can be a blowout in this. This is what I said about the Spurs game. We're not putting our best foot forward when it comes to the lineups. We're not putting our best foot forward to just maximize the wins, Joe. Like I said this after the Spurs game. If it was just about getting the win against the lonely Spurs or this Minnesota team, then we would rock our playoff type of minutes and shorten the rotation, have Alex Caruso start the second half, and do all those things that we know we can turn towards. Play those additional Chet and J-Dub minutes. We just didn't. That's just not our style. That's not what we're going to do in the regular season. We're going to distribute the minutes more evenly. Not everyone's going to get the minutes that we feel is going to deserve on a nightly basis. Sometimes Isaiah Joe's going to get a little less, where we felt like he should have gotten more, or Aaron Wiggins ends up getting the less. On the
Satbeer, I got cheered up just a little bit here. I'm going to cut you off as we do always. New member in the chat. Shout out to Bezzy Boy 6. Welcome to the Bring the Thunder podcast community. Appreciate the sub. As we're talking about this, if you haven't subbed already, go check out the premium subs on the YouTube channel. We make the best members-only content any OKC fan could possibly imagine, and it's all for you guys. Thank you, Bezzy Boy. Again, and if you haven't, go sub to the premium subs. Anyway, Satbeer, go ahead.
Let's go, man. I appreciate Mark and Indy welcoming our new member, but I want to continue on with my point of why I'm not taking this too much to heart in terms of the losses, these two losses, or three losses, honestly, is because of the way we ended up just losing. Like it took a lot for us to lose. It took a lot from them to have just a special 1 to 2 minute stretch, and that's really what it requires. Like that's how the losses were last season as well. When we lost, I was like, okay, like this team just shot really, really well when they really just needed to. And I'm not expecting this from Anthony Edwards in a 7-game series. I'm not expecting him to do this. I already mentioned this in every pregame. This is one of the least clutch teams that they've had in the several years. So
Satbeer, I'm going to jump in real quick. We'll have a quick conversation. I don't want to cut you off, but just where you're at there. I absolutely agree with everything you're saying about the opposing teams and what it's going to take, right? We've talked about every night, practically. Even when we win by 30, we say it's either going to take an absolute shit fest from OKC, which they've had in 2 straight losses against big teams, or it's going to take, like you said, Wembanyama to go nuts, Anthony Edwards to hit some clutch shots. But the problem with my thing is I don't care about the other team because we know we're better than every single team in the league. My problem is the stupid mistakes that they continue to make. I don't care if it's regular season or not. It's just not what championship teams do.
I can get your I guess the reason you're upset, but I just think it's like, arguing with a wall. You know the meme where you're against the wall and you're doing this and you're talking to it and you're like, please change. That's pretty much what Mark Dagnall is. Like from the top down, like what we've decided to do in the regular season is be more flexible. We're not just sticking to one style of roster. Pretty much that's what we've committed towards, is trying to get better every game rather than quote unquote winning the game, if that makes sense. I know it's so upsetting to see that, but I've come to terms with that being the case. We lost unnecessary games. I know you remember how upset I used to get over the unnecessary losses we had last year.
I can't wait for the playoffs again. It's gonna
there's unnecessary losses in the playoffs as well, where we're trying stuff and it's like, why the heck are we trying stuff right now? But that led us to a championship. And whatever led you there, you have to kind of just believe the madness, believe the madmen that are leading us. And there's clearly some sort of genius behind what they're doing between Presti and Mark, that they've committed wholeheartedly into this. And the players clearly believe it too, because none of them are complaining with the minutes distributions and everything else. Like if it was any other team and they weren't winning championships or they weren't looking to contend, I'm sure we'd hear rumblings of guys on the bench upset because they're a higher level caliber player than the minutes that they're getting. Like we talk about all of those guys. They probably deserve more or less or whatever. Most of them deserve more. They probably deserve a lot of them deserve starting spots around the league, but we have them all on one roster. And I think it's just a thing to appreciate. Losses are not what I appreciate, which is totally understandable. But I do think tonight we just had a really poor shooting night. Anthony Edwards went off. I'm not stressed about it. Cool. He did a quick 1 minute, hit a couple shots, hit three shots, and that was the game. Our star player missed, and that's that, man. Like, sometimes that's how these losses go. Like, I'd be more upset, like, where if we actually made a technical error or Mark made some bad calls, or, there was something that I've realistically saw in a flaw with the team of like, oh, this is kind of out of the ordinary. Lou Dort not hitting his shots is not out of the ordinary. Like, certain things like that.
It's getting to a point now, because last year he went 40%. It's been a increase every single year the past 4 years, but he's way down this year. And I know he might be injured. I know he's dealing with a couple injuries, but it's getting to a point where if you're wide open, and we trust Lou, Satbeer and I, if you guys are new to the show, back Lou every single time there's something up, because we know what big game Lou Dort is to this team, and we know how much his defense brings to this team. But it gets to a point where, God, you got to make a couple that are just wide open. He had 2 down the stretch. If he makes one of those, we win the game.
Yeah. So. Yeah. I think Bezzy's kind of getting towards what you're pointing out is there is a complacency towards why are we not maximizing our roster, but there's also the patience part of planning and strategizing, not just game to game, but for the season long haul that you're going to. It's not something, this is a quote directly from Sam Presti, and he says this every single year after we win, lose, or draw or whatever. He says the season is never a marathon. It's a marathon. It's not a sprint. And that's a direct Sam Presti quote that he says pretty regularly. And so if you go based on our leadership's thought process of this is not a sprint where if we do cost ourselves, games are here or there for the bigger picture, that's what they're always looking at. So I always look at it from that side, and we're going to hear the Lou trade talks and whatever. And honestly, by post All-Star game, once he locks in, starts hitting his threes again, or even if he honestly doesn't, I could care less because he's a top 5 wing defender that you literally can't find anywhere else on the freaking face of the planet. So I'm cool with it. What he was doing tonight to Anthony Edwards, honestly, when I was watching that in real time, I'm like, you cannot spawn a player to do that. Joe.
Right.
Like, dead serious.
I'm never, ever talking about moving on from this guy. It's just in certain points in the game, you could have threw AJ in there. AJ was having a fantastic game.
We made this point last time. We should have. I said this in the last Spurs loss. I said, why didn't we see more AJ? AJ was playing great. He's the offensive guy that we need.
And it's no shame.
We know what the changes are, but sadly, we can't control them to make those changes. We can just recommend them. Like, Joe's having great points. We should play Isaiah Joe for the 3-point shooting near the end of the game. We should have AJ in those spot minutes. The other guy we should have in there is Aaron Wiggins as well around the offense. When we need offense, all three of those guys should be coming in when the offense is stalling. And that's what our whole episode was based on this previous week, where we saw the offense stall against the Spurs and we're like, yo, this is kind of a concern. And now we've lost to another team. We've pointed this out as a podcast of what the shortcomings are of the coach, of the organization, or whatever when it comes to these losses. But there's also the other end of the stick of like, we're not in the leadership seat, right? Like, We'd love to see it, but we can't really complain about it when, Joe, at the end of the day, my point is this is what we should expect from the Thunder organization. It's this is what it is. This is part of the championship run that we're going for long-term, not just this season.
I do want to shout out a few people. Spurs fan, welcome back. Appreciate you tuning in, even if we weren't playing the Spurs tonight. That's always nice. J-Dub has to prove himself. Obviously, he did in the finals last year, which obviously is a big thing, but he's coming off that injury. And He looked amazing in the first quarter and then kind of went quiet, but we're still going to give him some time to get back to shape here. I did want to get to one of our comments from one of our members here, Mark. Mark knows exactly what I'm doing here. It's not that we lost the game, right? We know how good this OKC team is. We've seen it all season long. The way they lose a game tonight like this, it bothers the hell out of me because you're way better than that.
It bothers me
because you're way better than that. And I could bring it back to myself. My varsity high school basketball team. We lost 2 games all season long. 2 games. Our coach was so fucking I gotta stop cursing. I'm sorry. So pissed off at us at one simple mistake. He would scream during the game and embarrass the hell out of us. And we were up by 20. But that's the thing. Great teams, they need that. Great teams, we don't make those mistakes. And when you do, you get scolded for it. And you better acknowledge that you did make the mistake and get better from it. That's why I get angry at this team, because they are that good. They're legendary good. But if they continue to make these damn mistakes, maybe they are it. But we'll see. Remix, maybe. And Bengals, I'm not talking about the game itself. I'm talking about if you're that good, you are not supposed to be making the mistakes that they've made in 2 losses this year. And that's a fact. And you can't argue with that.
Yeah, I want to defend anytime we bring up any analogy from our lives into this basketball talk, it's just to kind of draw parallels that us, I guess, non-professional basketball players, can understand it. It's just a little bit more, I guess, easier to just, correlate to or sympathize with. So just wanted to bring that up. And then it looks like this is a great comment right here. Which lineup do you guys like the most? The 2 big or Chet at the 5? I think this is a great time for the conversation because we've had 2 losses going away from the double big, which I find pretty interesting that's happening. And I think it's timely that also we lost 2 games. Every time we lose a center, last season this happened. This season it's the same thing. Hartenstein picks up an injury. He's recovering from it. He can't play his full minutes or play the exact way, and the lineup kind of gets reshuffled, and then boom, we get a couple losses. And so that's another dynamic to this. It's not just as simple as, oh, we lost 2 games in a short span against really good teams. We also lost one of our glue guys in Hartenstein that was providing a very consistent rotation, a lot of consistency for rebounding and everything. And I feel like that's a big piece missing. I mean, he didn't score many points tonight. I expected that, but I feel like Hartenstein's still one of the guys that just is a glue piece. Like, he does all the little things, and when he's not out there, it's really missed. Even if he's not playing just alongside Chet, but if he's getting, I don't know, a different dosage of minutes, I feel like, what do you think about this lineup change?
Yeah, so I love this question. I appreciate our new member, and tell me if I'm saying it wrong. I'm going with Bezzy for shouting it out here. I'm always going to say it's matchup dependent, but I will answer the question. End of the game, depending on what team we're playing. Like, say we're playing Minnesota, I want SGA. If AJ Mitchell's having a good game, I want AJ Mitchell in the game. I want Jalen Williams. And I want the 2 bigs right now. That's what I want. That's what it's going to have to be. I don't think we needed Lou Dort down the stretch tonight. But if there is a game that we do, like say we're playing the Lakers, and Lou's got to play one of Bron or Luka, I'd go SGA. I'd go Jalen Williams. I'd go AJ Mitchell. I'd go Lou Dort. And I'd go Chet. AJ Mitchell's played his way into this end of the game lineup, I think. I trust him to shoot the ball. I trust him to make the right decisions. Trust him to drive. He plays a nice 2-man game with SGA. So those are my 2 lineups. So One Love just brought up a comment here. Are they? Because now OKC puts themselves into a position where they got to play another back-to-back. They got to play Memphis in a couple days, and then the next day they're going into San Antonio. So now they're in this situation where, yeah, obviously they're whatever their record is, they have 3 losses, so a fourth doesn't really matter. But you want to get back on that team, and hopefully against Memphis we could rest for half the game. But say we don't, another night back-to-back, then you got to go into San Antonio and try to win that game like you had a back-to-back tonight, and then they play them 2 days later. So they really put themselves into a situation, because I know if Spurs fan is still in here, I know the Spurs fans like to talk a lot of junk. They like to, and they deserved it after their performance the other night. But you better not lose all 3, because it's going to be a tough one in the back-to-back in San Antonio, and then you got them on Christmas Day. And I swear, if they lose on Christmas Day and ruin my Christmas, it's not going to be okay.
Yeah. I do want to point out this other comment right here, how good we have our record, but the Spurs and the Wolves, let's just be honest here, right? Like, our record indicates how good we are and how much better we are than the league from a team perspective. But the Wolves team and the Spurs team, I've said personally, I like these young rosters. They're very competitive against us. I mentioned this early on. Young wings, we're going to struggle with because of the type of roster we have. SGA is a superstar. He's athletic, but he isn't the Anthony Edwards type of athleticism. So when we do face a lot of young wings, it does cause issues for him, similar to J-Dub as well. That's just we're more of a finesse team. And when you're like a shooting team, similar to the Warriors back in the day, you do have those losses. That's why I always felt like that Cleveland team with so much athleticism matched up really well against the Golden State team. And that's how I feel about our team. Very similar parallels. We have a lot of finesse players that are able to hit a lot of shots and a lot of tricky shots and, be comfortable in those tricky situations. But when the shots aren't falling and they have a little bit more athleticism, it can cause problems for us. So I do want to give credit out. I feel like we need to start dishing out the credit for these losses to those 2 teams particularly, because they caught us. They caught us on the right nights. Wemby was coming back from his injury, so he had that circled. He wanted to play against Chet, give us the loss, played extra additional fourth quarter minutes on limited time that he wasn't supposed to. Anthony Edwards on a return day played 41 minutes just to give us this L. Like, he really
his coach is miserable too. Like, they need a new coach in there. We've been saying it since last playoffs. Yeah. Like, God, Chris Finch, like, get him out of there for Minnesota's sake. I'm not even trashing on Minnesota. We like their young rosters. Get him out. Like, Chris Finch has the players and the fans complaining about every foul call, and they shot 47 free throws tonight. Like that mentality is not going to get you anywhere, and it starts from the coach.
Yeah. We also have a huge set of games that we want to get to here and maybe preview with the Grizzlies that you're mentioning, and then the back-to-back against the Spurs. And then we have, honestly, upcoming gauntlets. The roster or the schedule is just going to get harder and harder. We had a really easy schedule this first half. After December, things are not going to be so hunky-dory. We're going to see more losses on their loss column. I mentioned this, like, it's not just naturally that we're going to play a lot more playoff teams, which we are upcoming in the schedule, but just with the amount of back-to-backs, tough travel schedule, things are just not going to be as easy as it was to start out. And I know the dream when you're 25-1, or at the time, I think 22-1 or 23-1, it sounds like, oh my gosh, we should definitely break this Golden State Warrior record. But that record, there's a reason it's in place. It's one of the harder ones to get towards. And I think it'll be like a really close one. And we would have to push towards it. And this organization just doesn't seem like the one that does push towards records at times. Like, if it's achievable, they'll do it. If not, they won't look at 1 or 2 losses as a big deal. And I know that's a huge problem with both of us, Joe, but that's just something to accept with this. But let's take a quick pause here, Joe. We have a special announcement for everyone in the chat.
Yeah, so if you guys haven't seen it already, go check out on Instagram and Twitter. We have a holiday giveaway, $120 NBA Store gift card. The rules are on the graphic. All you got to do is like the post, comment in the section or in the comment section, and subscribe to the YouTube channel. And again, if you have friends that aren't subscribed to us, go ahead and tell them. It gives you another chance to win. You guys could split the 120, 60, 60 a piece, or however way you want to do it. But go check out our holiday giveaway. Really excited to give back to you guys, because you guys are the best fans in the world, and we, the best chat in the world, and we couldn't ask for, anything more for out of you guys. So we want to give back to you guys for the holiday season. And yeah, this is a nice gesture from us to show our appreciation for you guys. And another thing, again, with the premium subscriptions, go check them out on YouTube. As you see, all of our members are in the chat, still tuning in to every live, of course. We appreciate them dearly as well. And we make so much members-only content for them. We do about 2 videos a week. And there's perks on there. You guys could join us in this live if you wanted. You could DM us before the live, join up. You could join us for the members only videos and come record them, with us on our StreamYard here. So we appreciate all of you, and just wanted to give that update. And Austin, we're going to set that up very shortly. We actually started talking about that the other day. But call-ins will be coming soon. As of right now, it's just a DM on Instagram. You could join anytime if you are a member. All right, back to it. Satbeer, we're about almost 35 minutes in. So I think it is time for everyone's second favorite segment of the night, Satbeer's Quarter.
Welcome to Satbeer's Quarter.
All right, Satbeer, take it away.
All right, I got some nice stats for us. I'm going to do 3 key stats, maybe just 2 for tonight. But the first one is SGA scoring 30-plus points for the 21st time, and that gave us the lead 102-100 with 3 minutes to go tonight. And he's also at 99 career 20-plus point games, where he could hit his 100th against the Grizzlies on Monday night in Oklahoma City. I still do believe we're still undefeated in OKC, so we still have that to hang our heads on. We also have what we're chasing is, I believe, if we're at 70 wins or 74 wins, I don't think it's that much of a difference between the 4 wins, because we know what our potential is with this type of roster. If we really wanted to push for it, honestly, I believe when I predicted it, like, we could easily win 75 or more games. But with the way we're going right now, I think it's a little bit easier to get to that 70 mark. And 70 is nothing to sneeze at, because last year I think I predicted above 60-plus wins, and obviously got that pretty right. I think it's above 65, and I'm saying above 70 this time. So I feel like I've been always hitting the higher end of the guesses, but it feels like I'm always hitting the good guesses there. And I thought those 2 stats really stood out. And then tonight, man, we got a great AJ Mitchell game. I mean, he's only played 64 career games. I don't think you guys could ever believe that. He hasn't even played a full season yet, and how good does he look? Those are my top 3 stats of the night.
Yeah, those are all. See, that's the thing. Those are all awesome. You would think OKC won tonight from those, wouldn't you? Again, appreciate you, Mark. But yeah, I can we talk about AJ Mitchell a little bit more before we do a short preview of the next game? I guess I'll ask you the question. I'll ask you guys in the chat as well. Has he worked his way into that closing lineup? Because I think he should be on the floor a lot more than what he's playing right now.
Yeah, I think it's kind of becoming a no-brainer with his advanced analytics of him leading in defense. I think our next episode for the members is going to be about AJ's advanced analytics. So I think his stats and his advanced analytics and the eye test all point towards he should definitely just be in that closing lineup. I know he's in a tough place right now, so definitely prayers up for him and his family. I know they're going through a lot, and hopefully they can get their family matters settled. But from just a game perspective, he is an amazing player, and I think he's earned the right. I think him and Kaysen are the two guys that I've been clamoring for to enter into the lineup alongside J-Dub and SGA. Those two guys, I think Dort's becoming the lone man out where he's more of a specialty player. I think that's where you're getting at, Joe, where even if he hits shots or doesn't hit shots, that doesn't matter. We can play him in spaces and spurts against the best player when that player's on the court. Mm-hmm. But when he's not on the court, I want to see the other two guys. And closing lineup-wise, I think those two guys are better offensively and defensively and just a lot more versatile players in their own ways. And, yeah, Mark's summing it up really well here. He's pretty much balling.
That's all you had to say. Perfectly said by Mark.
And sometimes it's not even about the stats. When you know a hooper and you're a hoop head, you see it, how smart they are. And there's no stats for a guy like AJ. He just plays the right way. And that's all you need. And I still can't believe he's only played 64 games.
Right. Yeah, great point. He missed practically the whole season last year with his foot injury, came back for the playoffs, didn't play much. He actually played well in Minnesota.
I think I was the first one calling out how well of a player he was.
Yeah.
When he played that small spurt of games. And then I was like, okay, he's going to be a guy next year.
Yeah. And, well, I'll give you a little bit more credit than that. During the regular season last year, you said it. You said this kid's going to be something. And I was like, I mean, yeah, he's had a few nice buckets. He was a good assist guy last year for the short minutes that he was in. But you really said it. That game 3 in Minnesota when we got blown out, he looked good. I know we were getting blown out, but himself, he looked good. And he looks really good here now. And
he's looking better than I even thought. At the time, I saw a vision of he's going to be a great offense. He's going to be a solid offensive piece with great playmaking. And that's what I was looking at him for. Him on defense is up there. And then on top of it, his scoring has risen even past what I had thought this early. I thought this was kind of going to be like still a couple years away, not so soon. And the fact that he got there to getting 16 plus points every single night this early, it's mind blowing.
Yeah. And, touchy subject here, but you got to give it to the kid. His father just passed away and he's playing his ass off in back-to-back games. Like nothing happened. Like you could see on the court, he's just focused on basketball and he's doing really well. And that's a hard thing to do, obviously. I mean, you got to give the kid some more minutes and a lot of credit for it. I want to shout out Austin here. Sonics fan since 95, obviously Sonics and OKC. I think we talked about this last time, Austin. Satbeer and I, what was it, 2009? About?
Yeah.
Well, the year we lost to the Lakers in the first round. That was 2009 or 2010. Yeah. But shout out to Austin. 95 is insane. Austin, I'm 2001 baby, bro. All right, Satbeer, I think that does it for tonight's game recap. Do you want to preview the Memphis game just a little bit?
Yeah, I think we definitely should. I think it's going to be this little stretch right here could either hurt fans' hearts and our hearts, or it could show us a different side of the Thunder, honestly. Especially if we lose this game against the Grizzlies, that the Spurs are going to be smelling a lot more blood in the water in back-to-back games. And I just think we're not in a position where we should rest up and start gearing up a little bit more tougher. I am going to be a little bit tougher on Mark. He's obviously a great coach. He's proven it. He's proven against any things that we said about him throughout the playoffs or whatever. Since he's proven that, now that we know what he's capable of making the right decisions on who to play, what time to play, all that, right? I think for this little stretch here, he needs to recognize kind of the urgency of, hey, we've had a couple losses. We need to start maximizing the minutes, shorten up the rotation a little bit, and kind of get into a gear of, hey, there's teams hunting us right now. We're not the hunter. We're getting hunted.
Right.
We've won the championship, and we need to start acting like there's something to defend. And I think that's probably where you're getting at, where, Joe, you're upset as a fan that teams are actively hunting us, and it doesn't feel like there's that sense of urgency. So I will back up on that. We do need to start having a sense of urgency of like, we're not going to BS around and play certain guys against the more elite teams and kind of mess around during those minutes, even if it's early in the first quarter or second quarter or whatever. I do agree a little bit, like we do just need to tighten it up a little bit and not get so complacent. I saw a comment above before that a championship team shouldn't be acting complacent, even though this isn't a sprint, it's a marathon, but that's still both things can still be true. I think that's where the tough part is about our team, where we have such a patient franchise as an ownership group, but then we want to, strive for greatness every single game, and finding that balance of doing that is really tough. It's
Right.
just a tough job. And I feel like Mark does it perfectly for how young he is and how much he understands the team and how greatly the players talk about him. So I think he'll definitely tighten up here, and he needs to give one of those halftime speeches.
We're waiting for it. Perfectly said, though. With that being said, I'm going to get to a few more comments, and then we're going to wrap it up here. Tom, welcome to the show. OKC absolutely blew out the Lakers, the 4 seed in the West. They beat the Rockets, the 5 seed in the West. They beat Minnesota, the 6 seed in the West. They beat the Suns twice, the 7 seed in the West, and are the 1 seed in the West. So I guess try better next time. Anyway, there was one more here. My boy Austin. He wants me to guess what year he was born in. And Austin, I don't want this to deter you from becoming a member on the channel here, but you said you started watching in 95. So I want to assume like 88, 87, like you started watching 7, 8 years old. Makes the most sense to me. Tell me if I'm wrong or right, but I don't, that's kind of young still, Austin. I wouldn't put you in the old category at all. A couple more. Let's go back to Tom here. Tom wants to be controversial, and we love the controversial. Tom, we actually appreciate the comments. Gives a nice conversation, a little back and forth. He said the ESPN MVP straw poll was laughable. Jokic has clearly better conventional and advanced numbers and is obviously more valuable. That typo. Voters, I don't even know what he's trying to say. By team success is an individual award. Sorry, that was just like hard. Did I nail that? Did I say 88? I think I said 87. But yeah, that's not old. You're not old at all. I unbiasedly disagree. And if you think that, you definitely thought that as well last year. It's the same story going on this year as last year, and Shea won the MVP last year. And now OKC's just better. And what's his name? Tom. I'm not even trying to be annoying. SGA has been the only constant for this team to start this young season. J-Dub missed like 20 games or so. Lou Dort has missed time. Cason Wallace has missed time. Alex Caruso has missed time. Chet Holmgren has missed time. Isaiah Hartenstein has missed time. And they're 25-3. There's a point why ESPN, the poll was SGA as the MVP. And if you need a little bit more facts, I could definitely give them to you and help you figure out that situation. But Satbeer, are you all set with tonight's show?
Yes, but I do want to preview the Grizzlies real quick. I'll make it brief. So we got the injury report. Vince Williams Jr. is going to be out. John Morant's out. John Conchar is out. Javon Small is out. Zach Edey is out on our end. Jay Will is game to game. Aaron Wiggins is game to game. Nikola Topic and Sorber obviously still out for a little while. And the guy that we're going to highlight for that season matchup for the points averages, we got Jaren Jackson Jr. Versus Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. He's averaging about 18. Shai's up to that 32.5 points right now. Santi Aldama, who's going to be their best rebounder on their end. We got obviously Hartenstein with 10.5, and Aldama's about at 6.5 rebounds. Vince Williams Jr. has been an up-and-coming guard rotation for them. He's going to be missing, but he's been averaging about 5 assists for them. And SGA this season, very quietly, 6.5 assists on 32.5 points is pretty ridiculous. The matchup prediction for this via the ESPN analytics says we have about a 91% chance of winning this. I feel like we don't need to be going based on any prediction model, any of the betting things that's going to be going on. We need to go in there and crush them early so the guys in the starting lineup can get rest and be ready against the Spurs. because those young guys, they have our number, and I don't want to lose to them again, especially not the first go around, because the second one is going to be that much harder. It's similar to being in a playoff series with a team. You play a team in a very short span of 2 weeks, 3 times. And if you lose all 3 matchups and then have to face them in the playoffs, there is a psychological edge to that. And me and you believe in that. I know we do. We still have the analytics and stuff that we still analyze, but we still have that old school mentality of hey man, we don't want to lose to these guys 3 times. Like, we don't want that on our docket. And I want these guys to take the that Spurs game real serious. Not that I'm overlooking this Grizzlies team, but just with the injuries with Ja Morant and everything else that they're missing right now, I just don't see them winning this. But we need to end this Grizzlies team pretty early, because they have a lot of young wings on that team that are pretty hungry as well.
And
the Grizzlies organization always just plays a grit and grind type of style. So they're not going to just lay down. You have to make them. You have to blow them out 25+ points tomorrow. So,
all right, that'll do it for us tonight. Thank you all for tuning in. Unk, we will see you next time. Mark, we will see you next time as well. Again, we appreciate every single one of you in this chat, Thunder fan or not, for tuning in to every live, tuning in, commenting. Just super grateful for all of you guys. We're going to continue to put out the best content we possibly can, and the most. But if you are enjoying the content, like the video, subscribe to the channel. Hold up, right before we finish, we got a super sticker. Thank you, J-Ma. Shout out to J-Ma for the sticker. And Austin, no rush, brother, of course. Indy knows what's coming. But again, I was going to say, like the video, subscribe to the channel, subscribe to the premium subs, and go check out that giveaway on Twitter and Instagram. See you guys next time. And Thunder up, baby. Let's go.